Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the football show with Yash and Neeraj. So, the Euro 2020 has captured everyone's attention. But in South America, there is the Copa America going on as well. On a silent note, but we are into the final, and it's the clash of the Titans, Argentina and Brazil. Yash, who do you think is the favorite heading into this contest?
Yeah, I think Brazil's team is a little more balanced, but Argentina have Messi. So yeah, it should it should be an even matchup. Not just Messi, of course. They have Martinez as well. But yeah, I mean, why does it always happen that wherever Messi is, he just has a good keeper to support him, and that's it. I mean, even with
Yeah,
Barcelona, it's just Ter Stegen and Messi. Here it's Martinez and Messi.
Yeah, last 4 or 5 years has been that only, right, for Barcelona, Ter Stegen and Messi. So it's the same year. Argentina does have a supporting cast, but not at the level of Brazil, right? They have stars all over the pitch. So for me, I think Brazil would be favorites heading into the final. They look settled everywhere, though there are a few problems in one or two areas. We'll come to that, but I think Brazil really look favorites heading into this. Also, the defending champions.
Correct.
Argentina is so dependent on Messi. I think over 80% of the goals that have come in either through an assist or a goal itself by Messi. So it's always been
Yeah.
the same thing. So just talking about Messi, how important is this for him to win a trophy with Argentina? Or does it spoil his legacy in any way if he doesn't win tomorrow?
Yeah, that's a good question actually. And I mean, no one knows it more than Messi knows it, the importance of winning the trophy. The We all know that Messi carries Argentina on his back like almost all the time. I mean, he's had to go through with, I mean, ridiculous management. He has to manage the AFA on one side, which is absolutely clueless. He's got to deal with misfiring teammates over the years. And uh, yeah, and I mean, it's just that, even in the Copa, Messi has 4 goals and 6 assists for Argentina, and I don't think they've scored more than 12 goals. So, I mean, yeah, it's very important for Messi to win this one, on a personal level, at least for him. But I don't think it affects his legacy in any way, because the man has given 120% for his country, and he still gets questioned by Ronaldo fanboys, by people who are out to bring him down. And I mean, it's just seems like a pretty senseless debate to me, at least. Even in the last game, I think he was fouled by someone, and he played the entire match with a bloody ankle.
Mm.
So, I mean, you cannot question his commitment. And I really want Argentina to win it this time, at least. Even if they win it on penalties, I don't care. But they should win it.
Yeah, just win it for him, man. I think these are giving me those 2011 Cricket World Cup and Sachin Tendulkar vibes, where it was almost the last time he'd gone through so many tournaments without winning, and it looks like that for
Hmm.
Messi, right? Because yeah, the World Cup is next year, just 16, 17 months away, but I don't think Argentina is going to be challenging for the World Cup. They've had better teams that haven't really troubled the opponents, so I don't see them competing in the World Cup. Yeah, they might reach the quarters or the semis, but not winning it. So this actually looks to me like the final frontier, and Messi. We really want it to go in Argentina's favor for Messi. But in terms of Brazil, how settled do you think Brazil is? Because it's a team that's been around for 3, 4 years now, I think.
Yeah. And the journey of Brazil is quite interesting. After the 7-1 thrashing, they went through a couple of managers, and they finally settled on Chiche. And Chiche has been really good for Brazilian football. I mean, he understands the system very well. He plays a lot of players from Santos, Flamengo, and he manages to combine that with the European stalwarts that Brazil usually has
Hmm.
anyway. So the result is the team looks very, very settled. And Neymar has been prolific for Brazil and Chiche. I mean, his goal contribution record is just ridiculous. I mean, I see him surpassing Pele at some point. It's that good. I hope I don't jinx this, but yeah, I mean, Neymar's definitely their talisman. They've got a steady defense. Marquinhos is there, um, and I just feel that the overall balance of the Brazilian team is much better than the Argentine squad at the moment.
Yeah, they have people who can score goals all over the pitch, right? Marquinhos gets goals from the defense. You have Casemiro who scores very important goals for Real Madrid, and that front line they have Neymar, they have Gabriel Jesus, Gabigol, Richarlison, Everton Ribeiro, and of course
Yes.
Bobby Firmino who scores goals for Brazil, unlike Liverpool. But on this point, Gabriel Jesus is suspended for the game after that crazy kung fu kick. How do you think his absence is going to affect Brazil?
So, to be honest, it's not going to affect Brazil. I think Brazil are better off without him, and they stand more of a chance to win because we know how great Gabriel Jesus is. I mean, he's just a meme striker, if you ask me. I mean, I think Brazil are much better going forward with Firmino, because he's a big game player. I mean, who would know it better than me? I mean, we were trashing Firmino all season long, and he shows up with a couple of goals at Old Trafford, and yeah, absolute mess. But yeah, I mean, given the occasion, Brazil could really use his experience, and it's and it's not just him, right? I mean, there's Richarlison who can play off of Firmino. They can have a good sort of a front two going. There's Gabriel Barbosa who comes in from the right, or Everton, not the club, the player. But yeah. So I mean, like you said, they have options in attack and defense. They have Fred the Red,
who's been playing really well. I think he's kept Fabinho out of the side, and he's really played very well. Yeah, it was surprising that you told that you think Firmino being in the team is better, because you've been someone who's been dissing Firmino all the time. But I'm actually not sure if he would start, because I think Neymar has actually been playing in the number 9 position, drifting off to the left side. You have both the Evertons, that is the Everton man, Richarlison, and Everton the player, who can play on both the wings. So I wouldn't be surprised if Firmino doesn't even start. Maybe he could play in the number 10 role. It's a very flexible system that Brazil has, and that's the reason why they've done so well, which makes them overwhelming favorites for me. Though there's no fan support, it's still being held in Brazil. There's no fan support to really cheer them up, but they've won tournaments, something that Argentina hasn't.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think has been the reason for Argentina not getting past, at least in the Copa America this whole last decade?
I don't know. They've just been a little unlucky, to be very honest, and they keep missing penalties at crucial moments. So most of the matches in the Copa America, they go down to penalties.
Yeah.
So I mean, you really have to be a really good penalty taking team if you want to win the Copa America, is what I've seen. And taking penalties is not as easy as we think it is. I mean, like we saw in the last penalty shootout, where Yerry Mina missed the penalty after scoring in his previous 2 or 3 penalty shootouts. So, I mean, it's in that moment. It's a very psychological thing. It's a psychological barrier that they have to break down. It's not about talent. It's more about mentality. So yeah, that's and I am expecting this game to go to penalties too, unless Messi can create 2 moments of magic on the same day. It's a massive expectation to have even one from him, but I mean, I don't see how this game is not going to go to penalties. That's my thinking behind it. So generally, yeah, I mean the mentality and the psychological strength of the Argentinian players has to come into question.
Hmm.
That's probably the reason why they haven't done well on the big stage as well.
So on this particular point, how good has Emi Martinez been? Because he came up with 3 saves and 5 spot kicks. That's an incredible achievement. And the past that he's had, the way he's come up the ranks, it's an incredible story as well.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And Martinez said that moving away from Arsenal is the best move for me at this point. And we were a little skeptical about it, but look how that's panned out. I mean, Martinez was at Arsenal for 10 years. He was loaned out 6 times, and I don't think he had a future. Moves to Aston Villa. Suddenly, he is the most informed player in the league, and he starts for Argentina. He benches Sergio Romero and the other guys, and saves 3 penalties. I mean, and we could hear him on the camera as well because of and the lack of crowds is a good thing because we can hear exactly what's happening, and his mentality is immense. He's chatting to Yerry Mina. He's telling him, getting in his head, and yeah, I mean, you could literally see the fear in Yerry Mina's eyes, and Yerry Mina is 6'6". I mean, to intimidate that guy means you need to have some crazy mentality. But Martinez has been great for Argentina. He's just what the doctor ordered, and he will be instrumental in keeping out this talented Brazilian forward line, I feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were just saying, right, that you need to have that mentality for penalties, and I honestly don't think Argentina have that or haven't had that in the past. They lost to Chile, they lost multiple times on penalties. So finally they have a keeper who's capable of doing it. I'm not saying that Sergio Romero was not capable because they beat Netherlands in the World Cup semi-final in 2014, but still the strikers didn't have that mentality. So I just hope that Emi Martinez's form, if it comes down to a shootout, is good enough to actually take them through. But on this point, on Argentina, the 2008 team that won the Olympics when they were all less than 21 had some of the stars that we have seen for a long time, the likes of Aguero, Di Maria, Messi, Mascherano, Zabaleta, Sergio Romero. I really feel this is the last chance for these guys. Some of them have actually retired also, someone like Mascherano. But some of them, it's the last chance. And I would really want Argentina just to take this trophy for them, because this whole lot would go away without even winning a continental trophy. Leave a World Cup aside. This team would not even win a Copa America. So I really want them to do that for this whole bunch. But on the Copa America question, why do you think Copa America doesn't have the same attraction as the Euros? Because it's being played at the same time, but I don't think people are watching it. The time zone is obviously a challenge, but still people are not watching it, and the attendance in terms of viewership has not been great either.
Yeah, I agree. And I think this has something to do with the frequency at which the tournament is being conducted. We've had 4 Copa Americas in the last 6 years, which is kind of strange. But also the fact that majority of the talent in the footballing world is concentrated in Europe. I'm not saying all of it is, but most of it is. There were no South American teams in the semi-finals of the last World Cup as well. So I mean, which is sad actually, because traditionally Brazil and Argentina have been footballing powerhouses, but their ability is on the wane. The last time a South American team was in the semi-final of a World Cup, they got hammered 7-1. So I mean, that's the sad bit. I mean, and I can't really put a finger on it. I mean, it's generally to do with the lack of quality as well. Like I said, a lot of the games seem to go to penalties, aren't decisive enough, aren't attractive enough to pull in the viewership. The quality of football is a little one step lower than what we're seeing at the Euros.
Yeah.
So A lot of factors. What do you think is the driving reason behind it?
So it's the same point, right? Like you look at a team which is not the best in Europe. You look at the second string teams. You still know a few players in that team. Like for example, if you go to some team like Turkey, for example, one of your Euro favorites, you knew so many people from Turkey, right? You knew half the team at least. Go to someone unfancy teams like Denmark, Czech Republic came into the quarters and semis. You knew half the team. By the end of the tournament, you knew everybody. But when you look at the Copa America, you don't know teams beyond the top 4 or top 5. You don't know anybody who's playing in a Bolivia or a Peru or a Venezuela. Even Argentina,
Correct.
you might not know more than 12, 13 players currently because we don't follow it with that kind of a passion. It's all to do with the viewership, players not playing in Europe. But I think the last decade of Copa America and the South American football was actually probably one of the best because you had Chile winning a couple of Copa Americas. You had Uruguay winning it at the start with Suarez and Cavani, Forlan also being around. Brazil didn't win for a long time until they won it the last time. Argentina was always trying to, and they never won it as well. So I think last decade was pretty good. I actually enjoyed watching the Copa America then, but now you know, right? Brazil is way ahead of the rest. Even Chile's team is not at the same level. Colombia has gone down. Uruguay, Suarez and Cavani are basically at their last stage. So I think that's the reason, and I don't see the Copa America really being attractive in the next couple of tournaments as well. And the point which you raised on it being like you had 3 Copa Americas in like 4 or 5 years. So if you don't bring in that exclusivity, I remember someone from Chile or someone mentioned it this time, that if Argentina wins it this time, at least then the Copa Americas won't be held so frequently. And that's not a good point, but I think these are some of the reasons why the Copa America isn't as attractive.
Yeah, makes sense.
But what's your prediction for the final, Yash? So I think we're all looking forward to the Brazil-Argentina game. We want Messi to win.
Yeah.
But there's Neymar on the other side as well.
Correct. So it's I'm thinking 1-1 after extra time. It goes to penalties, and then Argentina win 4-2 on penalties, hopefully.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking.
Would be some story really if this happens 1-1. I mean, leave the score aside, but 4-2 on penalties would mean at least 2 or 3 penalties getting saved by Emi Martinez again. So would be some story really. Though my heart wants such a result or even a normal time victory for Argentina, I think Brazil is just too strong. They have too many people they can call upon from the bench as well. So unfortunately, I think it's not going to be Argentina again, though I would love to be proved wrong. But I think it's going to be Brazil 2-1. Neymar, as usual, stealing the headlines. He's done that for Brazil so many times. He hasn't been able to do that for PSG, but I think he will do it again for Brazil.
Yeah, hope that doesn't happen. I mean, I'm not rooting for Brazil in this
Not me either.
final.
So yeah, two Argentina fans here. Both of us want Argentina to win. So it's coming up very soon, the Copa America final between Argentina and Brazil. Thank you for watching and do not miss the final for sure.